All right, today we're going to demonstrate the Okamoto 10x24 DX model. This machine has automatic incremental down feed, the plunge grinding mode, and also in the cross feed or surface grinding mode. It's currently wired for 220 volts. We've got a over-the-wheel dresser. It's hydraulically operated, and we have a 14-inch grinding wheel with a 5-inch bore. Probably 2 inches wide that you can fit on the grinder. So it's a 20x24. That means the chuck is 20x24. That's your working area. You have your cross-feed hand wheel here, which is very easy to move, as you can see. And you have a safety here. You have to pull it out when you want to use it. We also have a fine feed on the side here for if you're grinding up against the shoulder and you want to use a fine feed. Same with the table. You could work this by hand if you wanted to. Down feed is completely electronic. What you do have here is a manual pulse generator. You could come down in, say, your rapid mode here and get close to your part, then switch to your pulse generator and come right down on it. Set this to 0 and then just clean up your part just for one time around. If you're going to grind a lot of parts, this obviously has a program. So what we do then is we put a program in. Let's say we want to take off 10 thousandths. I'll do it in the plunge because the plunge is quicker. So we start our table here. And with the plunge, we're only going to have the table. And as soon as I select the auto cycle, we're going to start feeding down here, 1/1000 each pass. I'm just doing this very quickly. You probably wouldn't grind like this. Until we get to 1/1000 away from 0, then we're going to switch to the fine feed, which is going to feed now in tenths. And now we're down to 0. A certain amount of spark out passes, and it stops. So I'm going to show you that again. What you need to do is go back into the edit mode, put a value in here that you want to take off. Again, 10 thousandths. Then we start the table. Nothing happens until I click that down into auto. You could put any value you want in here, an exact number of what you need to be removed from your workpiece. You work incrementally down to 0. And then it parks. There's also a cross regular surface grinding mode, same kind of thing. I'll put in a little less material because it takes longer. I want to make sure you have this pulled out. Start the table, go into automatic. Now we're only going to feed at the reversal of the saddle. So we're starting off at 4 thousandths. When we reverse directions, if I have this set properly here, each time that reverses directions, we're going to feed down. So see now it's 3 thousandths. This is a digital readout for the cross slide. Okay, now we've come down another thousandths, 2 thousandths remaining on the workpiece. Of course, so we could turn the grinding wheel on. So now we're 1/1000ths away from final size. We're going to switch now to feeding off in the tenths column. So now we've taken 1 off and we have 1/10 left till final size. Then the machine will do a spark out pass, which will be an in and out without coming down any further. Now you see we've reached 0. Now the amount of this step is adjustable here. This is a hydraulic control. The more you turn this, the more this little pointer comes out, the bigger your step is, or smaller if you go in the opposite direction. Your table speed is here. This lever puts you in the incremental or the step mode. The other direction would give you a continuous in and out. And this is the control for the over-the-wheel dresser. This way we start to come out, feed slowly over the wheel. After we dress the wheel, we go back the other direction. And when it parks itself, it's going to go and advance the diamond a couple of tenths to get it ready for your next dress. So that's it. We have a nice coolant tank, right? All right, as promised, here's the coolant tank or coolant system. In this case, we have over here a magnetic separator, which is going to have the liquid from the machine, the runoff from the machine is going to go in this trowel here. This whole thing probably gets spun around and will be underneath here. It goes down into the trowel, it goes through here, it gets picked up by the magnetic wheel and goes back into the tank. You also have mounted on the top here a dust collector. So that's going to have a hose. You probably have to get a hose to connect the two of these together, and that's going to suck up your mist and your coolant dust and whatever. So you got a double, you got the magnetic separator and you have the dust collector plus your coolant tank. And this has a plug which plugs into an appropriate socket on the back of the machine. So that's it. That's the entire system right here, the 1024 Okamoto DX and coolant system. Currently wired for 220 volts. Thank you very much.